Over the weekend, tragic shooting at Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado. Absolute tragic thing, cold-blooded murder, no other description for it. And immediately I knew, okay, people are going to start to raise charges about why this happened, and immediately you're going to tie it with the pro-life movement and Christianity. In fact, we don't know anything for sure about the motive. As soon as I heard it, I posted on Facebook that this violates the principles of pro-life, violates the principles of Jesus. And I knew, of course, that there would be charges. Aha, you see? You see, it's not just Islamic terror, it's Christian terror. Christian terrorism at work here. This is the real face of the pro-life movement. I knew that that rhetoric would be forthcoming, and of course I was going to address it before it began to be forthcoming. But soon enough, I'm seeing charges all over social media raising these issues. People are saying to me, when are you going to denounce Christian terrorism the way you address and denounce Islamic terrorism? When are you going to address radical Christianity the way you address radical Islam? Well, to be sure, radical Islam says, deny Jesus as Son of God or we'll behead you, and radical Christianity says you can behead me, but I won't deny him. Yeah, you're talking about two very, very different expressions of the faith here. But pro-lifers immediately began making statements. Jason Benham said this: true pro-lifers care about life, including employees and clients of Planned Parenthood, praying for those in Colorado Springs shooting. Tony Perkins, Family Research Council. While the investigation into the shooting at the Planned Parenthood Center continues, regardless of what the motive is determined to be, we strongly condemn this violence. Only through peaceful means, not violence, can we truly become a nation that once again values all human life, born and unborn. Yeah, I tweeted out as well. Listen, if in fact pro-lifers wanted to kill abortion doctors, then there would be thousands of abortion doctors killed by now. God forbid. Nonetheless, you have folks like Bette Midler. Quote, thanks to overheated screeds spewing from the mouths of the GOP and in Congress, innocent people have died in Colorado, including a policeman. And we share the concerns of many Americans that extremists are creating a poisonous environment that feeds domestic terrorism in this country. One blogger said this: Christian terrorism is a bigger threat to U.S. freedom than Islamic extremism. And he concluded his article with these plainly ridiculous words: today's attack is an act of religious terrorism. There should be no other words to describe it. Just as many demand we label terrorism carried out in the name of Islam as Islamic terrorism, we must do the same to Christianity and realize the Christian religion is just as dangerous and prone to incite violence as its younger brother, Islam. In fact, respected Newsweek journalist Kurt Eichenwald tweeted, the time has come to hold David Leiden accountable for violence spawned by his lying baby body parts video. Indict him for manslaughter. All right, I've interacted with some of these people, and I've said that the rhetoric from them, from the left, is irresponsible and even irrational. Okay, as of this moment, we still do not know specifically what the motive of the shooter was. But let's just say that because he saw these videos exposing what Planned Parenthood was doing, and what Planned Parenthood has done is evil, and what this shooter has done is evil, let's just say that he saw those videos and based on that decided he was going to take action against the Planned Parenthood clinic. Let's just say he decided that. In point of fact, there's nothing Christian about this guy. According to reports, after his divorce in 2000, he appears to have posted apocalyptic rants online, so maybe quotes from the Bible that it's the end of the world, and sought sadomasochistic sex and pot-smoking companions. There's nothing Christian about that. There is nothing in the teaching of Jesus whatsoever that supports going out and killing people because you disagree with their ideology or you disagree with their actions. We're not talking about a war where someone comes to invade your country and you're fighting back. We're talking about going to a Planned Parenthood clinic and shooting people, shooting the police. There is nothing in the teaching of Jesus that supports that, and everything in the teaching of Jesus that goes against it. There is no example from the early church that supports it, and everything from the early church that goes against it. Not only so, there is not a syllable from any respected pro-life leader in the world that supports this, or pro-life organization in the world that supports this. The pro-life movement has been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement and opposed those who said, we're going to take the law into our own hands and kill people like late-term abortion doctor George Tiller. The pro-life movement opposed those people. And the fact that you have one lone person who seems to be deranged and unstable without any clear connection to a Christian church or denomination and pro-life movement where he's imbibing their teachings and carrying them out, zero whatsoever. That illustrates the fact that the pro-life movement is a peaceful movement. Otherwise, as I said, there would be thousands of abortion doctors killed. God forbid. So, to call this Christian terrorism is a complete oxymoron. There is no connection between the gospel and terrorism. And that's why when you go through history and you find an aberrant group or an aberrant movement, the exception proves the rule. With radical Islam, it is the example of Muhammad who beheaded his captives. It is the example of the early Muslim leaders who advanced Islam with the sword. It is based on texts of the Quran and texts in the Hadith and examples through Islamic history and the words of major Islamic leaders today. There is a complete contrast between radical Islam and radical Christianity. Therefore, I completely reject the notion that this can be attributed to, quote, Christian terrorism. No such thing.